Welcome to another math session here in Solve It with Sir Jude. Today we are going to discuss about solving problems involving parallelogram, trapezoid, and kite. So at this point in time, kailangan alam mo na yung mga properties ni parallelogram as well as special parallelograms, ni trapezoid, isosceles trapezoid, and kite because we will be using those properties as we solve problems involving them. So let us start with the first problem. Problem number 1. UMLQ is a parallelogram. If LQ is equal to 3 times the binomial x minus 3 and MU is equal to 2x plus 1, find LQ plus MU. So the first thing that we should do is to illustrate the given problem. So to visualize it further, this is the parallelogram UMLQ. And if you can see, it is stated that the length of LQ is 3 times x minus 3 and then the length of MU is 2x plus 11. So the given parts of this parallelogram are the sides of the parallelogram. And if you can see, those sides are considered as the opposite sides. So what property are we going to use for us to relate the sides of the parallelogram which are LQ and MU? So the property will be opposite sides of a parallelogram are congruent. So we can say and we can relate the two segments as congruent. Segment LQ is congruent to segment MU. Since their lengths are congruent, we can say that their measures are equal. So we have LQ is equal to MU. So LQ, that will be 3 times the binomial x minus 3, is equal to the length of MU, that is 2x plus 11. Now, let us simplify the left side of the equation. That will be 3 times the binomial x minus 3. If we are going to apply the distributive property, 3 times x, that will be 3x. 3 times negative 3, that will be negative 9. Thus, we have the equation 3x minus 9 is equal to 2x plus 11. Next, we need to apply the addition property of equality, or we can just transpose the terms and then combine them. So if that will be the case, we have 3x minus 2x is equal to 11 plus 9. So always remember, when we are transferring the terms, we are changing the sign. So 3x minus 2x, that will be x. 11 plus 9, that will be 20. That is why we have the value of x which is equal to 20. And if you can see, if you go back in the problem, we will not end here with the value of x, but we need to find the sum of LQ and MU. So to continue the solution, let us have the length of LQ, which is 3 times the binomial x minus 3, and let us substitute the value of x. If we are going to substitute, that will be 3 times the binomial 20 minus 3. And 20 minus 3 is 17. And if we are going to multiply, that will result to 51 units. Take note that LQ and MU are congruent based on the property opposite sides of a parallelogram are congruent. Therefore, they do have the same measure. MU is also 51 units. And if we are going to add the two measures of segments, LQ plus MU, we will now obtain the final answer, which is 102 units. Let us now proceed with problem number 2. And problem number 2 is all about an isosceles trapezoid. So TRAP is an isosceles trapezoid. Angle T is equal to x plus 64 degrees and angle A is 5x plus 8 degrees. We need to find the value of x. First thing, we need to illustrate our problem or the figure. So in this case, let us suppose that this is the isosceles trapezoid TRAP. And if you can see, the measure of angle T is x plus 64 degrees and the measure of angle A is 5x plus 8 degrees. How are you going to relate the two angles, angle T and angle A? With respect to an isosceles trapezoid, they are opposite angles. So what can we say about the opposite angles of an isosceles trapezoid? So based on its property, opposite angles of an isosceles trapezoid are supplementary, meaning if we are going to add the two measures of the angles, the sum must be 180. Since angle T and angle A are supplementary, we can say that their measures, if we are going to add, that will be equal to 180. Next, let us substitute the given. So the measure of angle T is x plus 64. So that will be plus the measure of angle A, which is 5x plus 8. And that will be equal to 180. Next, let us simplify by combining similar terms. So if that will be the case, the result will be 6x plus 72 is equal to 180. Then let us apply addition property of equality, or let us transpose positive 72 to the other side of the equation. So therefore, the result will be 6x is equal to 180 minus 72. 180 minus 72 is 108. We only need the value of x, but we are given with the value of 6x. Therefore, we need to divide both sides of the equation by 6. So dividing both sides of the equation by 6, the result will now be x is equal to 18. So this will be the end of our solution, since we are only to find the value of x. Let us now proceed to the third problem. And our third problem is all about a trapezoid. So ABCD is a trapezoid with median EF. If AB is equal to 4x minus 6, EF is 3x, and DC is equal to 7 times the binomial x minus 2, find the length of the median. First thing that we should do, illustrate our given. So let us say that E is the midpoint of AB, and F is the midpoint of D. If we are going to connect E and F, we will now produce median or mid-segment EF. Since the measure of AB is 4x minus 6, the measure of EF is 3x, and the measure of DC is 7 times the binomial x minus 2, we can relate the segments given by the property the median of a trapezoid is half the sum of the bases. So in this case, the median of the given trapezoid is EF. So that will be equal to, according to the property, half. So that will be 1/2 the sum of the bases. So therefore, we need to add the measures of the bases. So that will be AB plus DC. So let us now simplify. 1/2 times AB plus DC, that will just be equal to AB plus DC all over 2. Now, let us substitute the given. So we now have EF, the length of EF based on our figure is 3x, is equal to the length of AB is 4x minus 6 plus the measure of DC is 7 times x minus 2 all over 2. The next thing that we should do is to eliminate the denominator here. How are we going to do that? Mag-multiply tayo both sides ng 2. If we are going to multiply both sides by 2, dun muna tayo sa left side. 2 times 3x, that will be 6x. On the right side, since meron tayong 2 sa denominator and 2 here, we can cancel it. Okay, so ang matitira na lang will be 4x minus 6 plus 7 times the binomial x minus 2. Since na-simplify na natin, isimplify pa natin ulit. So, we can simplify 7 times the binomial x minus 2 using the distributive property. I-distribute natin si 7 sa mga terms inside the parentheses. So 7 times x, that will be 7x. 7 times negative 2, that will be negative 14. So that is why we have 6x is equal to 4x minus 6 plus 7x minus 14. And if we are going to combine similar terms, the result will now be 6x is equal to 11x minus 20. Now, let us continue our solution. So kung mapapansin natin, pwede natin ilipat or i-transpose si 11x kasama ni 6x. So that will now be 6x minus 11x is equal to negative 20. 6x minus 11x is negative 5x, which is equal to negative 20. We need the value of x. So therefore, there is a need for us to divide both sides of the equation by negative 5. Simplifying, negative 5x divided by negative 5 is x. Negative 20 divided by negative 5 is positive 4. So nakuha na natin yung value ni x. Ang kasunod na gagawin is to find the length of the median. Since the median is equal to 3x at nakuha na natin yung value ni x, we just need to substitute it here. Okay? So if that will be the case, we now have EF is equal to 3 times 4. 3 times 4 is 12. So therefore, we can say that the length of the median is 12 units. So next, let us have problem number 4. So problem number 4 will deal with a kite. So the area of a kite is 54 square units. If the length of the shorter diagonal is 14 units, what is the length of the longer diagonal? So let us illustrate our kite. So let us suppose that the kite is ABCD. And take note that we are given with the area of the kite, which is 54 square units. Let us now have the diagonal since the problem deals with the diagonal. So the shorter diagonal measures 14 units, that is according to our problem. And we are going to find the length of the longer diagonal. So papaano natin gagawin yun? Anong property ni kite ang pwede natin gamitin for us to get the length of the longer diagonal? So that will be the area of a kite is half the product of the lengths of the diagonals. So that will be given by the formula, the area of a kite is equal to 1/2 times diagonal 1 times diagonal 2. So in this case, since we are given with kite ABCD, so that will now be area of a kite is equal to 1/2 the length of AC times the length of D. Let us now substitute the given. So that will now be 54, since the area of the kite is given, is equal to 1/2 times the length of the shorter diagonal, which is 14 times BD. Si BD kasi yung hinahanap natin kasi si BD sa ating illustration ang longer diagonal. Next, let us multiply. 1/2 times 14 times BD will result to there, 14 BD over 2. If you can see, 14 and 2 has common factor, and that is 2. So, pwede natin silang i-cancel. Okay? So, simplifying the equation, we now have 54 is equal to 7 BD. We only need the length of BD. So, therefore, there is a need for us to divide both sides of the equation by 7. So, 7 BD divided by 7 is BD. 54 divided by 7, so hindi siya divisible. So, pwede na itong answer natin. 54 over 7 units. Or you can convert it in decimal form. So let us now go to problem number 5. Problem number 5 will be all about a rectangular garden has a perimeter of 56 meters. One side is 5 meters less than twice the other side. What are the dimensions and the area of the garden? So when we talk about dimensions, we are speaking of the length and the width of the rectangular garden. So let us suppose that this is our rectangular garden. And then, we are given with the perimeter, which is 56 meters. Now, how are we going to solve? Let us represent one side as x. So, how are we going to represent the other side of our rectangle? Remember na meron tayong given na statement as 5 meters less than twice the other side. So, that will be, if we are going to translate, we will go backwards. Doon muna tayo sa right side magsisimula. So, 5 meters less than. So, meaning we need to subtract. And then, twice the other side. So, we are given with the side that measures x. So, twice daw nito, that will be 2x. So, that's why we have the other length of side, which is 2x minus 5. So, for us to get the length and the width of our rectangular garden, and we are given with the perimeter, let us use the formula in getting the perimeter of a rectangle, which is 2L plus 2W. So we let 2x minus 5 be equal to the length and x be equal to the width. So let us now proceed with our solution. So gagamitin natin yung formula in getting the perimeter of a rectangle. And then isubstitute natin yung length and width. So the length is given by 2x minus 5 and the width is given by x. So substitute. There. So that will be for the length and then this will be for the width. Okay? Remember that the perimeter is 56 meters. So palitan na rin natin siya. There. So that is why we have 56 is equal to 2 times the binomial 2x minus 5 plus 2 times x. If we are going to simplify further, we now have 4x minus 10. Bakit nagkaroon tayo ng 4x minus 10? 2 times 2x is 4x, 2 times negative 5 is negative 10, plus 2x. So we now have the equation 56 is equal to 4x minus 10 plus 2x. Combining similar terms, we now have 56 is equal to 6x minus 10. Let us now transpose negative 10 to the other side of the equation. So we now have 56 plus 10 is equal to 6x. 56 plus 10 is 66, which is equal to 6x. Let us get the value of x. So let us divide both sides by 6. 66 divided by 6 is 11. 6x divided by 6 is x. Therefore, we now have the value of x, which is 11. Okay? So, since ang representation natin ng width ay x, at nakuha na natin ang value ni x which is 11, therefore, ang width ng ating rectangle is 11 meters. Sir, paano natin makukuha yung length ng ating rectangular garden? Substitute lang natin yung value ni x doon sa length, which is 2x minus 5. So, 2 times 11, 22, minus 5, that will now be 17 meters. So, we are now through getting the dimensions of this rectangular garden. So the dimension will be 17 meters by 11 meters. Sir, how are we going to get the area of the rectangular garden? We will be using the formula length times width. We are now given with the length 17 meters, the width 11 meters. Just substitute. 17 meters times 11 meters, the result is now 187 square meters. So therefore, this is the area of our rectangular garden. So let us go back to our garden. So the length will now be 17 meters and the width will now be 11 meters. The area of the garden is 187 square meters. Let us now proceed with problem number 6. And problem number 6 is all about an isosceles trapezoid. So the top of a mini table is shaped like an isosceles trapezoid. Below the table, metal braces are put diagonally so that it will be sturdy. If the braces measures 3x minus 2 inches and 2x plus 10 inches, how long are the braces? Let us now represent the given figure. So we are given with an isosceles trapezoid. So there is the isosceles trapezoid. And we are to get the length of the braces that will be put diagonally. So meron tayong diagonals ng isosceles trapezoid. So take note that the length of EQ, the first diagonal, is 3x minus 2. And the length of the second diagonal is 2x plus 10. How are we going to relate the two diagonals of an isosceles trapezoid? Ano kayang property ang pwede natin gamitin? So the property will be the diagonals of an isosceles trapezoid are congruent. So therefore, we can say that segment EQ is congruent to segment CM since they are the diagonals of our isosceles trapezoid. Since the segments are congruent, therefore we can say that the lengths are equal. So we have EQ is equal to CM. Let us now substitute the given expression for each segment. So EQ has the length 3x minus 2 and it is equal to the length of CM which is 2x plus 10. Then, let us transpose terms para makombine natin sila at masimplify. We now have 3x minus 2x is equal to 10 plus 2. 3x minus 2x is x. 10 plus 2 is 12. That is why we have x is equal to 12. This will not be the end of our solution since we are asked to get how long are the braces. We need to get the length of each diagonal. So out of the value of x which is equal to 12, kuha tayo ng isang expression na equal kay diagonal. So let us have diagonal EQ that has the measure 3x minus 2. Substitute lang natin. So if that will be the case, we now have 3 times 12 minus 2. 3 times 12 is 36 minus 2. That will now be 34 inches. Since the diagonals are congruent, if EQ is 34 inches, we can say that the length of CM is also 34 inches. So therefore, we can say that each brace of our isosceles trapezoid mini table measures 34 inches. Let us now go to our last problem, problem number 7. So a kite has a perimeter of 64 centimeters. The length of one of its sides is 14 centimeters more than one-half the length of the other. Find the measure of each side of a kite. So let us suppose that this is our kite ABCD. So let us represent one side of a kite. So let us suppose that that is CD. Let us represent it using the variable x. So next, we need to represent BC. So how are we going to represent BC? We have here the statement 14 centimeters more than one-half the length of the other. So yung length daw ng isang side will be 14 centimeters more than one-half the length of this given side, which is CD. If that will be the case, let us now convert it into a mathematical phrase. So, ang katulad nung sa rectangular garden, let us work backwards in order for us to translate this statement. So, 14 more than, so that will be plus one-half the length of the other. So, the other side is x. So, therefore, the length that will be represented here is one-half x. Okay? So, now, since a kite has two pairs of adjacent congruent sides, since CD is x, we can say that AD is also x. So this will be the first pair of the adjacent congruent side. How about segment AB? Segment AB has the measure 1/2 x plus 14. So AB and BC are the second pair of adjacent congruent sides of this kite. Since we are given with the perimeter, let us use it in solving this problem. So the perimeter of a kite, we just need to add all the measures of the sides. So we have CD plus AD plus AB plus BC. Let us now substitute. So that will be x plus x plus 1/2 x plus 14 plus 1/2 x plus 14. So add natin. X plus x dun sa una will be 2x. Next, 1/2 x plus 1/2 x is x. 14 plus 14 is 28. That is why we now have 2x plus x plus 28. Substituting the perimeter, which is 64, we now have 64 is equal to 2x plus x plus 28. 2x plus x plus 28 will be 3x plus 28, which is equal to 64. Then let us transpose 28 to the other side of the equation. We now have 64 minus 28 is equal to 3x. 64 minus 28 is 36, is equal to 3x. Then we need the value of x, but we are given here with the value of 3x. Therefore, we need to divide both sides by 3. 36 divided by 3 is 12. 3x divided by 3 is x. So therefore, we now have the value of x, which is equal to 12. So we will not end here since we are asked to find the measure of each side of the kite. So out of the value of x, i-substitute na natin siya. Okay? So yung x natin stands for the length of CD and the length of AD. So automatically, meron na tayong measure ni CD, which is 12 centimeters, as well as the length of AD, which is also 12 centimeters. Ang problema na lang natin will be the length of AB and BC. So, i-substitute natin siya sa isa sa mga lengths. So, let us have BC. So, BC is equal to 1/2 x plus 14. Substituting the value of x, that will now be BC is equal to 1/2 times 12 plus 14. 1/2 of 12 is 6. So, we now have BC is equal to 6 plus 14. 6 plus 14 is 20. Therefore, the length of BC is 20 centimeters. So, if BC is 20 centimeters, AB is also 20 centimeters. Kanina nag-assume tayo kung ano yung mga measures ng sides. Since nakuha na natin yung accurate or exact size ng bawat sides, at kung mapapansin nyo, medyo alangan yung ating figure. So, let us now arrange kung ano ba talaga dapat yung magiging kalalabasan ng figure. So, pagpalitin lang natin yung dalawang pairs ng measures ng side. So, to check, the perimeter must be 64 centimeters. If we are going to get the sum of all the measures of the sides, The sum is 64 centimeters. So therefore, our answer is correct. This will now be the end of our discussion today about solving problems involving parallelogram, trapezoid, and kite. So kung may napulot ka for today, do not forget to like this video, share natin sa iba para makatulong tayo, click the notification bell for more video lesson, and if you are new to our channel, please subscribe. So this is Sir Jude. See you next session. Good day!